Yo. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the greatest podcast to exist in the history of podcasts. It's your number one source for all things craft beer related. It's the internationally acclaimed, Cindy Crawford approved podcast of hops, high fives, and friendship. I am your host, weighing in at 0.097 metric tons of fun. The Beast of the East, Crispus Maximus, the all-knowing, all-seeing, Tom.
And I'm your other host, the Hop Master General, Grand Master of Malt, the Royersford Rattlesnake.
Hit it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's Dan.
I'm going to toss you a beer. Wow. All right. And we are, damn, I know we're going to nail this week.
Oh, I got it.
We
I'm
have
ready.
3 pre-show meetings on this. There's 4?
3.
Oh, 3. 3. We had 3 pre-show meetings on this. I've sent multiple texts with this. I sent the MP3 file of this song.
And emails.
Yeah, we're going to nail it. All right. We are the best friends podcast in the world. Dan, hit the music.
Oh, man.
What's up, Tom? Come on.
It's Darude. It's not the song, but still.
Come on, Tom. This is the song.
Gotta beat that beat up. It was not the song that we talked about, but
This is the song you emailed me.
no. Dan,
I must have went to spam. I'm sorry, man.
why would I choose Darude Sandstorm?
Because why wouldn't you?
Tell's live.
We'll be better next week, folks. It's okay. We'll get it.
Whatever, Tom.
I mean, how many weeks are we into this year?
I lost count.
Yeah, I don't know. Some like 6 weeks. I don't
There's
know.
been a lot of text exchanges. I mean, maybe I'm confusing the songs, but I thought this was it.
No. Dan's just been living in like the late 80s, early 90s here with these music picks.
I got the tape out of a used Geo Metro as I was getting out.
Oh, are you sure it wasn't your Mitsubishi Eclipse?
It was Eclipse. I took my Blah Punked out with me.
Okay, it was one of the removable blow punks.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're the best friends podcast in the world. We'll get the music right next week. Don't count on it. We probably won't. This is a whole bit. It's gonna go all year long. Don't worry, folks. So, all right. Real quick before we get into our episode, we got to do some housekeeping. Remember, subscribe, rate, review. Subscribe. Dan, what are we subscribe? Well, subscribing. We're
All major podcast platforms.
yeah, you're going to get your notification that the podcast dropped on Wednesday morning, like it is every Wednesday morning now.
Yep.
Rate, Dan, what are we rating?
5-star party, baby.
5-star party, boys. 5-star party all around. And then review. Get creative. We wrapped up our January.
Yeah, we had a winner.
Yeah, we had a winner. We had with Stevie Joe.
Is that how he goes by, Stevie Joe?
Yeah, I don't know. That's how he left the comment, but he's a loyal listener. He hits us up on social media. So we're gonna get him out some goodies. Maybe I don't know. Maybe some dollar store toys. I don't know. Maybe some beer. Suck it, Tom Wolf. So
We'll send out some prizes.
yeah. So
We may or may not be shipping beer in
I
Pennsylvania.
don't know. We're not a business of any sort. We haven't
Yeah.
LLC'd ourselves, so the government has no control over us.
Exactly.
We're wild cards
Yeah.
out here.
Wild card, baby.
Wild cards. Yeah, so continuing that, February, same deal. Write a review, most creative, one that makes us the saddest. I don't know. Whatever it
It
is.
could be scathing. It could
Yeah.
be funny. It could be, kiss our ass. Why not?
Yeah.
Best review, we may or may not be sending you beer.
Maybe. I don't know. Probably. Yes, we will. All right. And if you're enjoying the show, tell your friends about the podcast. Simple as that. You like it, maybe your friends will too. All right. Let's get into the episode. What do you think, Dan?
I think so. I think we have to introduce our new friends here.
I think so too. All right. So we are joined today by Kevin and Basil Kershner, the owners and brewer at Brothers Kershner Beer Company, located in Skippack, Pennsylvania. And, Dan, guess what?
What?
They're brothers.
Oh, really? Oh, it's in the name, yeah.
We thought originally it was just a coincidence that you guys, maybe just met like on Facebook, like, hey, we got the same last name. Hey, cool guys. But turns out they're brothers.
Oh no, I knew they were brothers. It was on the website.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't go to their website?
Yeah, I know I did. I ordered the beer. All right, guys. Kevin, Basil, thank you guys for coming on.
Sure. Thanks for having us.
All right, so we're gonna be enjoying some Brothers Kershner beer.
Yeah, we got some great beers on deck for this episode.
Yeah, and guys, just remember that we are part of the Hopped Up Network. The Hopped Up Network is an ever-growing group of independent beer podcasts. Check out all the other podcasts on the network at www.hoppedupnetwork.com.
Yep. Follow them on social media. It's at Hopped Up Network. If you're unsure of where to follow them, just wait till our episode drops. Our episode drops. They're the first people to literally comment on every episode we drop. So go ahead and give them a follow. They're great guys.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna drink some Brothers Kershner beer here. So we went. We typically do. We've been on like a solid path of let's do. An IPA because
why not?
IPA sell, and that's what everybody likes. And let's do an IPA and something different, whether it be a Pilsner, a lager, a sour. Hell, we did an ESB last week.
Yeah.
But we're doubling up on the pale ale.
Oh, I know.
Here. Yeah. And I'm very excited because they're not IPAs. One's a Belgian IPA, but, we'll get into that later. But we're going to start off with one of my favorite styles.
All right.
That's the American Pale Ale.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, we can start with that.
All right, thanks.
Sorry, I just keep staring at Basil's beard, and I just can't.
It's glorious.
Is it growing in front of you?
I was wondering that. I was like, if I just stare at it long enough, am I gonna see it grow in front of me?
You will. You'll see it grow.
All right. All right.
He is coming live from a coal mine somewhere in central Pennsylvania right now.
From Centralia.
This is my bedroom. What are you talking about?
All right. So let's get into this beer, and then we can start talking about all kinds of different stuff. All right. So the first beer we're going to be doing is Bing Bang Boom by Brothers Kershner. And then Dan is going to tell us a little bit about it. But first, if you want to follow along with the beers that we are drinking, the beers we drank on the past episodes, you can check out our Untapped account. And I would highly recommend that's all you do is just check us out. Maybe log in, the beers that you're drinking, but don't rate them. Don't be that person. Don't rate them. Don't review them. You don't know what you're talking about. Just drink the beer.
Yep.
Put it on put a picture on there and then be done, because you're just slowly ruining the craft beer industry. Every rating, one rating at a time. So,
the Yelp of craft beer.
Yeah. Yeah. Just know that every time you put a rating or a review on Untapped, you are a turd. All right. So you can follow us and look at the beer pictures without ratings on our Untapped at Best Friends Pod. What is that, Dan?
That's at Best Friends POD. I went a whole week without listening to POD. I'm so glad that we started with that.
Yeah. Are you guys familiar with POD?
I know that song, yeah.
Okay. Well, you'll get more and more familiar with them as the episode goes on.
Yeah. POD will grow on you.
Yeah.
They're actually, the lead singer's a fan of the podcast. It's no big deal.
He's messed with us. Whatever. No big deal.
Whatever.
MBD. All right, Dan, tell us about Bing Bang Boom.
All right, so Bing Bang Boom by Brothers Kershner. It is actually an American IPA, Tomas.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, when you were saying that, I was trying to get your attention. I was like, hey, we've got an American IPA here.
Yeah. The Untapped has led me astray again.
Yep. Well, you should know better.
Yeah, I really should.
So this is a 6.5% alcohol by volume American IPA. Average rating on Untapped, and we always just kind of put it in there. It's a 3.68, but you should really just try it for yourself. Don't trust the ratings.
No.
How do you guys feel about Untapped as brewers?
Personally, I think it's so flooded now with users that it's kind of, I don't know, it's less effective than it may have used to be in the beginning. It's a good resource for people to find places and beers and kind of, categorize what they like to drink. But really, it all depends on how they're using it. Some people use it to just make a list of what they had and what they've liked. Other people use it as a platform for little social media type stuff. And on the other side of that coin, it could affect a lot of things because ratings, since it is a platform that a lot of people use, it becomes a go-to for distributors, bars, restaurants, that sort of thing to select what they might get. And a lot of times the cutoff is, 4 coins, whatever it is, 4 stars.
Yeah,
So,
what are they?
that-
We've been thinking they're bottle caps, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Bottle cap,
I like the 4
that's right,
coins.
bottle cap.
Gives it like a Mario Brothers, like
Yeah.
Nintendo kind of thing. Like, I got 4 coins.
Ring,
Awesome.
ring.
Yeah, exactly.
The little yellow circles, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll kind of elaborate on what Kevin was or what Basil was getting at there. It's not a place for you to be a fake cicerone. All right,
Sure.
you can tell talk about what you're drinking and what the flavors are, but when you say like, oh man, this American pale ale would have been a lot better if it had lactose and marshmallows in it.
Or this porter was good, but I don't like porters. 1.75.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
This Pilsner would have been better if it was mango puree. So, just
Stay in your lane.
stop.
Just stay in your lane.
Chill with the, trying to be, you want to impress people. You want like some bar to come to you and be like, come be our cicerone, please.
Let's get cracking into this, guy.
Yeah,
We'll do our celebratory crack and get pouring.
All right. So, we're going to crack these in an orderly fashion here. We'll do it in a little 1, 2, 3.
Beautiful crack, gentlemen. I feel like we all started that initial crack to make sure we were all in time, but then we really excelled on the second one. So I'm really proud of us.
I fully adapted your crack technique, Dan. It's just a little crack and then like wait for everybody and like.
It's the drummer in me. It's a little 1, 2, 3, go.
The echo
I'm
chamber.
sorry, I already cracked mine and drank it, so.
Yeah, you were getting ready, and I'm like, he's
While
already.
you're playing your music there, I was
I saw it. I was like, oh, he's already drinking this. I can tell by the color.
Bas-
getting my
We're playing
first
music.
end-of-day beer.
We're playing music and Basil's sticking a key into the side of his can.
Yes, basically.
He's already just kicked it off. All right, guys. So cheers.
Yeah, cilantro.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh man, this is like such a nostalgia kick getting a good American IPA.
I am gonna have to knock off 0.25 from this because it's not. I can see through it, and that's unacceptable.
That's all.
Wow, that is nice. Real forward with the bitter.
I like that.
So, Basil, tell me what makes this an American pale ale, an American IPA? I'm sorry, American IPA.
It's kind of, I guess, a nod to when IPAs first started to gain traction again. So it's basically a balanced IPA. It's true to form. It's got a little malt background, back end. It's more of the citrusy, piney hops. And it's a little sweet, it's a little bitter, it's a little malty, it's a little hoppy. It's kind of like hits all the quadrants equally, kind of bounces around from each one.
I think well
and,
balanced is a good way to say
It's
it.
a nod to that style when we'll say mid to late 90s when those were kind of coming back into favor.
I like it. It's almost like it's like the black and white cookie of IPAs. There, it's like a little nod to the West Coast, a little nod to the East Coast, and it's just bringing us all together as one.
Sure.
How many beers are you going to compare to the black and white cookie, Tom?
There's never enough. The great debate is that whether it's a cookie or a cake.
Oh, yeah. That is a great debate. The one thing that we
Bird cake.
It is very cakey.
is very cakey. One thing we've been doing on the show here is we have been following the BJCP with, our kind of tastings of the beers and everything. Everything you were saying about being well balanced, that perfect harmony of pine kind of bitterness with, tropical fruit kind of. It has some nice floral fruity notes to it. And like you said, it's just well balanced between those two. You get a lot of the bitterness up forward, but it's like, it's finishing it's giving that tropical fruit kind of like, and then a little bit of maltiness at the end too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think the malt really rounds it out at the end there.
Oh, definitely.
Pulls it together. I mean, it comes forward. All the big fragrances are right there in the nose. It's a great smelling beer, man. It's one of the best smelling beers we got.
Really ties the room together.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, with that beer, I'm gonna have to pull out. I'm gonna have to pull out a Lebowski joke here.
No, I like this. It is. It's very reminiscent of, the beers that I refused to drink when Dan tried to shove them in my face.
It was, me in the early days of craft beer with all my IPAs being like, Tom, drink this.
No, I just want my stout.
You want to be cool?
Yeah. Just let me drink my stout, please.
Yeah, this is, like I said, it's a nostalgia kick for me. This reminds me of that one beer I would get at the end of the night, being like a bar back in college. They would, 60 or 90-minute IPA, and I got to sit back and enjoy that type of beer. And it kind of rings to that kind of old school IPA balance that you were talking about. Yeah,
it's got a little bit of that OG Dogfish Head, a little bit of that Sierra Nevada flavor to it. I think it's a really nice, well-balanced, it's an IPA.
We're going to kill the word balance throughout this entire episode, I think. I can't wait to talk about how balanced Basil's beard is later.
It's a little rough right now.
little gray, a little white. It's just nice.
It's just well-balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a very like George Clooney kind of coloration going on, a little salt and pepper.
He's got his
very much so.
He's got his Swanson at the cabin kind of feel to it.
I was waiting how far we were going to get into the episode without calling him Nick Offerman. How many in Skipback stop you on the street and ask for your autograph?
I prefer the Clooney reference myself.
Well, don't we all?
Yeah, right. That went down.
All right, so take us through how Brothers Kershner got started.
Gosh, campfire stories from way back when. I'll do the short or long, I guess, of it. Basil started brewing, got a gift from his wife, right? And I'll let him talk more about that if he wants. But at this point, 13, 14 years ago now, Baz?
Yeah, roughly. Yep.
Yeah. So he started brewing. Hobby turned into a little bit more. I was just graduating college. We were hanging out on the weekends. He was always brewing, so I learned more about it. And then from there, fast forward, first business plan came to be. The little campfire stories, what ifs turned into why nots, turned into, shit, let's make this happen. So like Baz was saying off the air, the first business plan was stupid simple, and we try to keep it that way. Make beer, sell beer. And we still try to live by that motto today and that plan today. So got all the way around 2015, landed in Skipback. Got our feet on the ground there at a location, totally gutted the place, an old auto body shop. So the renovation was pretty extensive. It took a while, every bit of a year and a half, almost 2 years. And then opened doors in 2018. So I've been at it ever since.
Wow. That's a pretty crazy story.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the make beer, sell beer kind of sentiment there. So having you guys kind of have an eclectic menu. And we've run into a couple brewers that will tell us, I would love to make a Kolsch more often, or I would love to only make Pilsners, but they don't sell. I have to make hazy IPAs, and I have to make beers with marshmallow in them, and that's what sells. Like, how does that? What have you guys run into that where it's more like we want more hazies, or is it people are really kind of taking to the variety on your menu?
I think even before we opened, that was something that Kevin and I always wanted. We wanted a diverse menu. We wanted something for everybody on the board.
Mm-hmm.
So, whether you're new to the craft beer world or you've been enjoying craft, breweries throughout, for the last 10, 20 years or whatnot, there's something on our board. We have 12 beers on tap. So we wanted to kind of, make each beer a different beer. A lot of what we do is, true to style variety of beers. We have a couple haze forward beers. We have a couple classic IPAs like Bing Bang Boom. We have Kolsch, Pilsners, Lagers, Porter, Belgian, Saison. So basically, we try to keep it diverse. So when you come in, with your friends or you're by yourself, you can kind of find something that you'll enjoy and you'll like. So does brewing IPAs, is that important for any business? Most definitely, because that's it's one of the biggest selling beers out there. So every brewery has an IPA or two or a double IPA thrown in the mix. So the adage of the IPAs keep the lights on, that's basically true, but we try to kind of spread it out enough that there's a variety. And part of what we do there is we want people to try something else.
Yep.
IPA is the gateway drug to craft brewing by far. You go to any distributor, that's all you see on the shelves is IPAs. So, but bring them in with the IPA and then say, hey, did you try this? Or, you might like this, you might like that. So having those varietals on tap just lends that kind of teaching, kind of, guiding through the craft beer taste a little bit easier.
Definitely. Beer education right there.
Yeah.
It really gets that foot in the door with like a nice, a nice New England IPA. And then I think both Tom and I, after our last episode, we started preparing for this one, just going through your website and looking at the styles. And we were just delighted to see so many different ones that we just didn't know what to start with for the episode.
I honestly, I don't think that we've had an episode or a brewery that we've picked a beer later on, but just because we're going back and forth of like, what do we have? Like, do we have? I mean, you guys made it easy for us a little bit because I was like, I want that Pilsner. I want that Pilsner.
You're the crispy boy.
And that's in, it's in the process, and it's a process to make a good Pilsner or a good lager.
Right.
And then, we kind of went back and forth. Like, do we do the Belgian? Do we do the Kolsch? These are the two styles.
It got to the point where I was like, Tom, just pick the damn beers and tell me what I'm picking up.
And there's so many texts back and forth. Like, do we do this one? Let's do the Kolsch. No, let's do the Belgian. Nah, it's just that's what I like to see, and
I like that kind of problem when it comes to choosing breweries to have on this podcast.
Yeah,
it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, I've always said variety is the spice of life. I appreciate going into a brewery where I can look at the board and go, okay, I have all these to choose from. Which ones do I want to try? But that's not always the case in every brewery. There's breweries out there that you go in and the board has 9 beers and 8 of them are some sort of hazy IPA, and you'll get the brewer that says, "Oh, well, this is what pays my staff," and it's like, okay, that's, I get that, but it's still, that's not as enjoyable. They might make great hazy IPAs, but you can only drink the same type of beer, the same style of beer so many times before you're like, all right, I had enough hazies. I've had, a whole month straight of just hazy double IPAs. I need a Pilsner to really cleanse this palate.
I don't know. I could drink 10 more variations of this American IPA for the next couple months, and I'd be happy.
But you're going to get tired of it. You're going to be like, all right, well, I need to try something else.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And the variety that we saw on your menu was spectacular. We've got breweries in PA sitting in the chat just talking about all the beers as we're sitting there. Their Kolsch is one of their favorites. So that's awesome to hear. We were kind of on the Kolsch side too a little bit, I think.
Yeah, we were leaning, it was really a toss up between the Kolsch and the Belgian IPA, and it was just the Belgian IPA just sounds so interesting.
I had a little foreshadowing.
Yeah,
Foreshadowing.
All right, so you guys kind of got together, turned this auto body shop into a brewery. Basil, your wife bought you a homebrew kit?
Yeah, so she got me
Please say Mr. Beer. Please say Mr. Beer.
No, it wasn't Mr. Beer. It's a little more advanced than that.
I just want to hear that Brothers Kershner started on a Mr. Beer.
So a little backstory. Dan and I have only brewed one beer in our life, and that was a Mr. Beer kit.
Was that like 2007 or something?
It was something like that. We did a West Coast IPA, and boy, did that suck.
Yeah.
So we
thought it was the best shit we've ever drank.
It was really carbonated.
Yeah.
It went real heavy on the sugar in that one.
Yeah, it was real. Real bad.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy pouring the hop syrup in the. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it was a kit. I didn't even touch it for like a year because for some reason I kind of knew that once I got into it,
it was game over.
It'd be game over. I'd be hooked. Then just from there started to kind of Frankenstein our pilot system, and then just basically when you go into the brewery, the first 5, 6 beers you see on tap, those are the beers that we brewed over and over again for years. And then once we got serious with the project and started to get our business plan together, we invested in a bigger pilot system, started working on that, and just like in any typical startup, we shared it with friends and did some events here and there, and sent sixels around to anybody that I knew that had a beer meister, and kind of went from there. So like Kevin said, it was a hobby that turned into a passion that turned into let's do this, and here we are.
And now it's paying your mortgage.
It certainly is. Yep.
And it
tries hard.
It's a nice location too. The building. I guess it
great.
calls back to being an auto body place. I think any industrial setting just gives way to a perfect brewery.
Yeah.
The parking alone right there in the front, which you guys definitely took advantage of with the outdoor seating. I went there back in August and hung out there. It was really nice. And you guys have all that parking around back too. So, I mean, location right there is crucial. And the building itself, it was like, industrial. I think industrial or just, like you said, an automotive garage just lends to like a perfect brewery setting.
Yeah.
Industrial rustic is what we call it.
Yep.
Yes.
And Tom, you're brave, man. Thanks for braving the macadam out there in August. Holy shit.
Well, that's Dan.
That was Dan.
Yeah, Dan.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I mean, it was nice. You guys had the umbrellas and everything, which was nice. So, we were following the sun as it was going down, just guiding it towards that. But it was nice because there weren't a lot of outdoor places to go to, and it was as everything was just kind of opening up, and we saw it. We drove past it and saw how nicely separated and kind of spaced out everything was. And my wife was like, "We have to stop there. I think it's a good thing to do." And we went back the following weekend and had a great time.
Yep.
Yeah, and for all of our listeners or viewers that aren't familiar with the area, the village of Skipack.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great little area. It's, you have a nice, just a straight road of, shops and restaurants and just like a nice, quaint area.
Great. Yeah. I mean, great food, but if you want to just tie on a few beers at Brothers Kershner and you really want a hoagie, you can go to the Wawa right next door. Oh man, I was like, oh, it's right there. I could just get a hoagie on the way home.
It's technically a resort town, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Really?
There's a hotel in town, so technically people could come and stay and spend the weekend there.
There we go for our out-of-state listeners.
Oh, is that above Basta Pasta or something? Is that where the resort is? I don't know where the hotel is.
Yep, right next door.
Right next door. Okay.
CLA.
Oh, okay.
Yep, right in the middle. It's got the old caboose, the old trolley.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
okay,
see,
yeah.
I don't know.
Can't miss it.
So Kevin, what you got into this after college? So what's your background in?
Graduated college, Soc Crim, major, and then landed in a corporate gig like most of us, kind of totally redirected away from my major just to get a job.
That's where he got the headset.
Exactly. It's just still off of that. Sounds good. But yeah, I was at that for a good good stint, managed operations. It was a healthcare company, so I managed teams of folks and different leadership type roles and what have you. The good thing is, over the 10 years, built up a lot of business acumen and was able to pull that into the brewery and the starting and still use a lot of what I learned today. It's all relative. It's just a different product.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so.
Nice. Nice. Does every pint of beer come with a little survey afterwards?
Every single one.
Yep. You just drop the check off. You're like, oh, if you guys could just hold tight for about 1 to 2 minutes for a brief survey after your call. I mean, your beer.
Yep. Kevin will be over. I go over with the headset on, not plugged in anything, and I start asking him, "How was your experience today?"
Yeah, Kevin is owner / server / motivational speaker.
Folks, I want to talk to you about
/
drinking.
client success.
He's a man that wears many hats.
Yes.
So let's get back to this beer, Dan.
Yeah. Get back to it. Like I said, it's just a trip down memory lane for me.
Yeah, it's really, really enjoyable.
Thank you.
It's one of those beers that's like, it's very bitter heavy, but I guess I don't know if I would call it. Maybe it's an acquired taste, but I feel like if you're an IPA drinker, this is what you look for.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's almost like if it's not, you call yourself an IPA drinker and you're looking for something that is like fresh squeezed orange juice.
Yeah, if I'm looking for the juice in an IPA, I want it to kind of have a finish like this.
Right.
Like I want like the juicy, dank kind of notes to it, like, on the front, but I want it to finish like pulling me back. Oh, by the way, this is an IPA. Like I don't want anything to take away from like the classic IPA finish for that I get from a beer like this American IPA.
Right. I mean, part of the bitterness, that's what makes you go back for another sip.
Yeah,
It dries your palate out, and you want to go back for more.
And if you guys have been listeners of the podcast, anytime we have I feel like almost anytime we have an IPA on, Dan and I are always asking, what's the bittering hops in this? It's like we're always looking for that little bit of bitter. Even in the New Englands, it's like, all right, we just a little bit of bitter in there, a little bit of bitter. You get like that nice grapefruit flavor and the nice pillowy mouthfeel, but where's that bitter at?
Yeah.
Throw a little Simcoe in there. I don't know. You got your Citra and Mosaic. We all know that.
There you go. Yeah, that's what's in it. Simcoe and Mosaic.
You nailed it.
I was gonna say Simcoe is like it's like the magic ingredient right there.
I mean,
It's my favorite hop. It's great.
Every good West Coast I think I've had, over the last couple months, I've looked it up, and Simcoe was in that ingredient, just sneaking in there. The little West Coast, just bringing that in there.
That was like the original for me, like the original like IPA that I was seeking out. Was it Weyerbacher did the double Simcoe?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was.
That was like the original IPA that I remember being like, all right, this is good.
Yeah.
And like seeking that out, like double Simcoe, like it's double the bitter in it.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking for. I'm more of definitely more of a bitter, and it's definitely a callback to Dan pushing, the West Coast and the.
It just warms my heart to hear him say this as I just sit here and I just go.
You're working hard on it.
Yeah, my work. I mean, I have just been my hands are bloody from pushing IPAs on this guy.
He spent so many years being me like, oh,
these calluses of just handing him pints.
And me just going, smells like cat pee. Yeah, but it tastes delicious.
No, and with the aromas that you get from this, you get that piney, resinous like taste to it, but you're getting a lot of floral, fruity kind of notes on the nose, which is it's so enjoyable. And
with the bittering on it, it's even with how heavy bitter it is, it's refreshing. It's a super crushable beer. Like I could definitely put a couple of these back. Nice.
Like I said, I did one before we even started.
Is this a staple recipe for you guys? Is this like something?
Oh yeah, it's one of our biggest sellers. It's a mainstay. It'll always be on tap. It's a beer that I brewed probably. I mean, even before we opened, hundreds of times. So it kind of went through a journey, but It's good to stick with a beer, whether it's something that you're brewing over and over again, or there's nothing wrong with drinking the same beer. You know, you could drink 3 or 4 of the same beer. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, you don't have to jump from one style to the next, although that's fun too. But part of what I think is lost is just that. There's some customers that we have, they come in and it's one beer that they're looking for, and they drink it the whole time they're there. Yeah. And I love seeing that.
Yeah, this is a core beer I would have like in my fridge as like I would get all those ones to try, you know, new like New England and stuff. Like I mean, I'm a self-obsessed hazy boy. I've said it before. You know, I enjoy my hazy IPAs, but you know that stems back from I've been drinking IPAs since IPAs came around, and I always have like a core set of like West Coast that just kind of sit in the fridge. I'll enjoy one of those hazy IPAs. I'm like, super dank, super bitter, awesome. Let me go back to an American. Let me go back to a West Coast. Go back to, go back to the baseline and then enjoy that.
Yeah, I feel like this is like the beer that when you get somebody like, you know, that just started drinking beers and they're like, oh yeah, man, I love just IPAs. I'm just an IPA lover. It's like, all right, well, you know, have one that's just Simcoe and Mosaic, you know. Let's leave the Citra or the Brew One or, you know, any of those like juicy.
Whoa! Pump the brakes. I mean, the Citra can go in anything.
But Citra's my number 2 hop.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody loves Citra. Come on, but you know, get a little bit of bitter in your juicy palate.
It's a good gateway IPA. It really is.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you a base, a starting point, and then from there, of course. I mean, what is American IPA nowadays? It's 1,000 different, different looks.
Yeah, so. There's so many. The American IPA is such a. I mean, I think BJCP is the only guideline still using American IPA. American IPA has become so divisive. You have New England, you have West Coast, you have so many different variations that are coming out of quote America that American IPA just seems like it's.
We had Greg from Rebel Hill on last week, and we did
Greggy.
Yeah, we did Scratch the Surface, which is an American pale ale, and it's like it is what it is. It's a pale ale. It's delicious and just shove it in your face.
I think that's how it made it onto the outline. I think Tom just had pale ale on the mind when he was just going through this.
Yeah.
Pale ale.
So everything is pale ale to you, Tom, right?
Yes.
You were asking about the porch. We didn't have it in cans yet, but you were hunting for the porch. That's what
I was. Yeah.
Coming soon.
All right. So you guys are located in the village of Skippack,
the resort town of
Skippack.
Resort
town.
Come on, Tom.
All right. I apologize. Accept my apologies, Skippack.
Get your Airbnb reservations today.
So. I mean, you guys, I don't think I know any other breweries in Skippack.
There's not.
No, they're the only ones.
So you guys have cornered the market. So, how is it being a brewery by yourself there?
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's nice, but the Skippack came to the top of the surface, if you will, for us location-wise, because the craft beer scene in general in Montgomery County is like a bigger picture, was really starting to take flight and pop up. I mean, just in the year that we opened, boom, 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 in very quick succession on both sides of our opening, there's all kinds of different breweries opening up, which was great. So we kind of saw that happen, and it was neat. And the village always came to mind because it was very much on brand for us. Mom and pop shop, family-owned businesses, walkable.
Walkable. The sidewalk is crucial right there. You guys get a lot of foot traffic.
Yep, and it's neat. So it was perfect time. Everything kind of aligned. The stars aligned, and didn't have a brewery yet, obviously. So there it is. We nestled right in there.
Yes, 2018, the stars align. 2020, they fall out of the sky.
Fell down, and landed right on Skippack Pike.
Oh man.
So as Dan's leading me into there,
segue.
How have you guys adapted with the whole pandemic?
Like everybody else, man. We had our. There's no children's on, right? We had our.
Say whatever the fuck you want.
I was gonna. Yeah, that's usually the big question when brewers come on. They're like, "Can we curse?" Of fucking course.
So I usually
By
use
the
it
second beer, I'll probably let a couple out. So
Well, when shit hit the fan in March, like it did for everybody, that Friday the 13th, go figure, when everything was coming to a head there, right, in March, we had our what the fuck moment, drink, and okay, what do we do now? So that's kind of that happened we closed on that Sunday, and then we were launched with delivery 7 days a week that Tuesday by St. Patty's Day. Online stores stood up in between there, and all the processes kind of worked out as best as anybody could in a short amount of time. But long story short, it was all right. Let's keep a beat alive. Let's keep up with the promise and keep it back to the basics. Stupid simple. Make beer, sell beer. Now we just have to sell it a little bit differently. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot, with breweries lately. It's just
well, yeah, I mean, we were a craft beer podcast that came about during the pandemic, so
just before.
Yeah,
Just before.
yeah, just before.
Yeah.
We settled in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We decided to put it all on red when it was like pandemic. We're like, do we go craft beer? We do it.
Yeah, there was a little bit of panic moment, like, oh my God, there's a pandemic. We're not going to be able to get beer. And then
What do we do with all this free time that we're just sitting in our house?
Yeah.
Do you have a microphone, Dan? Yeah. Do you?
And then all the breweries went, oh yeah, you can online order and drive up, and we'll throw your beer in your car, and
It's crucial.
yeah, we're all still going to brew beer. And,
Yeah. I invested in coolers, and we just went about.
Yeah.
Nobody stopped drinking beer, by the way.
Fact.
I would say it was the exact opposite of. Not only did nobody stop drinking beer, I think people actively drank more beer.
I think if you look at America and any great historical moment or something that has happened in this country, nobody stopped drinking beer.
No.
Yeah.
Prohibition, nobody stopped drinking beer.
They found a way.
FDR repealed prohibition and said it's about time this whole country had a drink. So
Yeah. And to go on what Kevin said, it's like our customers and our regulars and even people that were just seeking us out, they never stopped coming. And, to your point earlier with our spacing, like that was a godsend for us, having all that outdoor seating opportunity. And we did a couple, extension of premises to get more tables here and there. So that location basically kind of saved us because we had the space to spread out. And our people just kept coming, and it was perfect. Not perfect, but you know what I mean. Perfect,
yeah.
As it could be.
yeah.
Yeah. So, how quickly did it come together as far as launching a site, to be able to order beer? And you said you got delivery going out.
You said you had it by St. Patty's Day, you said?
Yeah, 2 days. So it was basically hunker down mode, whiteboarding and talking and figuring this out. And the good thing is, credit to our point of sale, they have a built-in infrastructure to be able to kind of do a website for online ordering in a more restaurant type setting, like your typical delivery of cheesesteaks food. This is a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I took what was existing, just bastardized it to all get out to make it do what we needed it to do for beer sales, and damn it worked.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
It was quick.
It's always really interesting to hear how a brewery adapted to the whole pandemic, because I feel like everybody took it on a different way, but kind of all got the same end goal.
Well, I think every brewery that started within the last 3 to 4 years, even leading up to this, or just even at the same time that the pandemic happened, their philosophy and what they wanted to do, and correct me if I'm wrong, is to have a tap room to interact with people. You wanted to walk around and ask, how are you enjoying this beer? Do you have any questions about this beer? You wanted to have that face to face with people. And that just suddenly went away.
Yeah, you wanted people to be able to order flights and try different stuff.
Yes.
That was probably the biggest. Sorry, Kev. That was probably the biggest shot in the gut, so to speak. Is just that the communal feel.
Yeah.
People sitting at the bar, people able, to walk around, kind of like just hang out, basically enjoy beer and socialize. That's the space that we created was just for that. So when that was swept out from under us and we had to kind of regroup and sell beer in a different way, that was probably the biggest downfall or loss in the whole thing. So
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, the space that we created, and you've been there. It's exactly that. It's a communal space, and Baz put it beautifully before we even opened with Philly Biz Journal interview, saying, our ground is common ground. So, where we are in Montgomery County, you're getting such a mixed demographic, which we love. It's awesome. You could be sitting next to the farmer, could be sitting next to the businessman, next to the young guys that are, on spring break from college and what have you. But point is, they're there, they're sharing a pint. And we've seen it a million times where folks that don't even know each other will be sitting at different sides of the bar. Boom, they start shooting the shit, and bam, now they're sitting together for another 2 hours. And it's exactly what we envisioned. And then, like, when everything got took away, there was some sad moments looking around. All the tables were stacked and the chairs, and we're running another month in of deliveries, and we're just out the door with coolers. So it sucked, to say the least. It fucking sucked.
Yeah. All right. Well, as we're on a down note here,
let's pick this
go
up.
back up.
Yeah, let's pick this up.
Everything's great.
Everything's fine. We're fine.
Let's crack another beer here, and
Let's mute Kevin's microphone while he cries, and we'll go ahead and crack another one.
Stop in the corner.
Yeah, he may look like ShamWow guy on screen, but he feels like ShamWow guy off screen.
Hold on. While he's wearing the headset, I'll use an empathy statement. I can totally understand where you're coming from, sir. I understand your frustration.
Kevin, it's not, Kevin, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Hold on, I need Basil to say that because I feel like he has that Robin Williams from Good Will Hunting vibe to him. It's not your fault right now.
Listen, everybody.
Don't do it, man.
Get through this. We're all going to get through this. Everything's going to be just fine.
Well, now you just sound like every corporate commercial out there. We're all in this together. We're going to get through this. Please give us money.
Cue rocking chair, Baz. Cue creepy rocking.
I'm just waiting for Basil to turn into like the Zoom
I
cat.
can't see it.
I was waiting for him to put like a Zoom filter on where all of a sudden he's a cat with a beard on.
I am not a cat.
I am not a cat. All right, ready for that next one, Tom?
Yeah. So, before we get into the beer here, if you want to follow along, like I mentioned before, if you're joining us partway through, you can follow along with the beers that we are drinking. We do have an Untapped where we list all the beers. And Dan, what's that? What's that
Oh,
tag?
Tom, yeah. You can follow us on Untapped at Best Friends Pod. Again, everybody, that's at Best Friends POD.
POD, you say?
God, I love new metal.
That's late.
Is that NU metal?
Yeah, and you with an ooblaw.
And that's late '90s West Coast, just like our last beer.
Oh yeah, just like our last beer.
Yeah, there you
Good
go.
one.
And now we're going to talk about our next beer, our new
All
beer.
right, yeah. So this one we were really excited to bring onto the podcast here. This is the Belgian Exit by Brothers Kershner Brewing Company. This is a Belgian pale ale, 5.2% alcohol by volume. Average rating, I will say this now. I bet it's not high enough on Untapped, you sons of bitches. This is a 3.61 on Untapped.
All right. Let's get cracking on this one.
Give me a countdown, Tom.
All right. We got 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, that crack was so good. Everybody does the initial crack. Everyone gets in line, and then everyone hits that second one like the kill shot.
I went in a little fast.
So Matt from Breweries in PA brings up a good point. Hey,
Matt.
He said that he's heard that Kevin is a singer.
Oh. Where did he hear that?
I don't know.
Where did he hear that rumor?
It said, heard Kevin sings. Maybe he will sing some POD.
Way out of my vocal range.
You do have your Britney Spears mic on.
Yeah. He's got his choreographed mic, his mic on that he's choreographing a whole dance number with. And 1 and 2 and 3.
Listen, you better get it together in the back.
And step and spin. I said spin.
Guys, I have to have my hands free for these sick dance moves.
It allows me to be free when I'm out there on the floor.
Oh man, there's such a Belgian smell in the nose with this, guys. I'm really excited. But before we get down on this, let's cheers, everybody.
All right.
Boys, you're here.
Sláinte.
Cheers, guys.
Prost.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's Belgian yeast right on the nose. You get those like nice fruity esters on that.
Yeah, not just on the nose. I was to say on that sip too.
Mhm.
This is a new style for the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really nice. It's almost like I mean, it's just like a Belgian ale, you know, with just a little bit of that bitter to it. It's like it's almost like we talked about it before. It's almost like you cuvee like a Merry Monk's and a West Coast IPA. Delicious.
That's a good description.
Yeah, it's great. It's actually right on.
Yeah, I would think like if, they kind of start with like the Belgian like Dubel, triple and quad and everything. This is like the single. This is like before you get to the double and everything. This is where you would start.
It's an ideal beach beer, I call it. It's my go-to on the beach.
Oh,
'cause
that's a
it's
good
got
one.
Something different. It's very
Yeah.
light. It's
Okay.
crisp. It's light in
Yeah.
alcohol.
It's got a little bit of that like fruity flavor to it that comes with the Belgian yeast. It's that little bit of that banana,
With the
little bit of
fruity
like
esters and everything.
the raisin or date kind of somewhere in that range. Yeah, it's I always get banana heavy on with the Belgian yeast. But I definitely get like that little bit of like that raisiny kind of flavor to it.
I think, well, obviously we talked about you married into a Filipino family. You got banana like 80% of your diet. So,
Man,
I mean, this is just.
and man,
What'd you have for lunch?
I hate bananas. I hate them.
He hates them.
I hate bananas. I hate everything. I'll never eat a banana. I can't eat it. It's just mush.
We would just have bananas at like when we lived together, just in the apartment, just turning brown. We only use them for smoothies. Like I would be like, Tom, are you just gonna eat these or just use them for smoothies? Like I won't even shove one in my mouth. He just gets awkward with it.
Oh yeah, that's the only
He's
way.
very
I can
uncomfortable
consume it.
trying to eat a banana.
Yeah, no,
It's an uncomfortable looking fruit.
yeah. I mean, it's. I'm very texture heavy. Like I can't eat. I need crunch in whatever I'm eating.
He's texture heavy. He has a bad gag reflex. He just can't handle a banana.
Yeah, it's just it's yeah. It brings back bad memories. I don't know. Things I pushed way down. I don't know.
He's seeing a therapist now. It's okay.
But yeah, we digress from the beer. No,
That's why we have the outline, guys.
Yeah.
this is super enjoyable. I've been really diving into Belgian beers lately.
Totally.
It's like, again, one of those beers from yesteryear, it's like going back. Same thing. Double Simcoe. We'll stick with Weyerbacher, and I want to make sure that I'm right. Merry Monk's is Weyerbacher, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just before I got called out on that. Yeah, Merry Monk's. It just that was like the Belgian back in the day. I was like,
So that one, I would say another one that always hails me back is Iron Hills Classic Triple.
yeah.
Whenever that dropped, I think I was always, finding a seat at the bar whenever that finally was tapped at Iron Hill. That was kind of a big intro to getting into Belgians for me.
My Belgian awakenings were Golden Monkey heavily.
Yes, Golden Monkey was another one too. That was a pizza shop beer for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we would local pizza store.
More so, it was so there was a little bar in it was in King of Prussia too, and it was in King of Prussia in Center City called Fox and the Hound, and they would do $2 Tuesdays.
Yes.
Yeah, back when I was in college, back in the day, as it were.
Back in my day.
I went to school in Center City, and we would go out Tuesday nights, go to Fox and the Hound for $2 Tuesdays because we were broke college kids. And, what do you know? They have Golden Monkey on tap for $2.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
You spent $8 and you stumbled out. So
$2 Tuesdays, you say?
Yeah, they put the kibosh on that pretty quickly because things got out of hand.
So it's $3 for a Golden Monkey on Tuesdays now.
No, they took it off. They were like, yeah, it was $2 Tuesdays
On select drafts.
Yeah, on select drafts, and basically the
Keyword.
select draft was Golden Monkey, and that's it.
They're like, you guys can have everything except for this one right here, guys. See
And,
that tap over there?
yeah.
It's got the big V on it.
And-
Picture
and-
of a monkey.
And
Nah,
while
not that
we're
one.
while we're on the subject, I don't want to bring it down to here, but hey, everybody, show some support to Victory. They had their tap room in Kennett Square burnt down.
Yeah, that was a crazy occurrence. Actually
It
happened,
happened on the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, it happened. I guess Levante got a text as we were in the middle of it. Yeah, freak accident and everything. Hope luckily nobody really was
Right.
critically injured, which was nice to hear. But
They'll bounce back. They're
strong.
yeah.
I think they're celebrating 25 years now, right?
yeah
I think
coming up soon.
Coming up soon.
Yeah.
Their
It's
anniversary is
got to be
coming
at
up.
least that. Yep.
Yeah, it's coming up on 25 years soon.
Yeah, they're I mean, Golden Monkey I think was like the intro to like a lot of Belgians for people,
Belgians.
because it was just like that was like the beer. It was like you want to get fucked up.
You like Belgian? You like Belgians?
Fuck that.
You like 6 of them?
Yeah.
That was
Hey.
always the one for me that was left out of the mix pack, right? And there was like the last ones in the fridge, and there would always be the last ones. You're like, all right, here we go. Golden Monkey's up.
They didn't like us trying to.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's odd, Matt. So Matt said they didn't like Brewers in PA trying to do a fundraiser for their displaced employees. Yeah, I'd have to
Oh,
get
that's-
more info on that
Yeah, we'll
before. Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit, Matt, on that.
Yeah.
But last beer in the back of the fridge, Golden Monkey is that beer.
Yeah.
That's also the 2 a.m. beer.
Oh,
I would say when you get back from the bar and you're like still hanging with people and you think you still have it in you, and you're like, guys, I still have beers in the fridge, and you go in there and it's you got a few, but you get to the last one and you're the guy who has the Golden Monkey. You're left with that, and the lights turn off real quick after a few steps.
Any more that so I got gifted a 6-pack of it a little bit ago, and it's become the beer that just gets added into like I'm gonna give you guys some beers, and like, oh, here's a Golden Monkey in there.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I did that to you.
You did it to
I
me.
did it to
yeah,
you.
it's still in my fridge. I was wondering why you gave me a Golden Monkey. You gave me like a 6-pack of beers that I think we were part of the whole like episode. And I'm like, oh, cool, we got the beers for the episode. I look in and there's a Golden Monkey. I'm like, why did Tom give me a Golden Monkey?
I can't drink 6 Golden Monkeys, man. I can't drink 6 Golden Monkeys in 1 year. It's just like I can't do it anymore.
But you know what you can drink 6 of? Belgian Exit.
Yeah.
This
Absolutely.
Yeah.
this is
It's an easy.
a session.
It's yeah, for sure. It's a good lawnmower beer. If I'm cutting the grass, that's the one I go to.
Oh yeah, it's funny. Brothers Kershner is actually saying that in the chat. I think grass cutting beer.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's Omegon. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's inspired by. I had a Belgian Pale Ale from them
Okay.
years ago, and I've never had a Belgian Pale Ale. It was hop forward yet still Belgian. So that's the inspiration for Belgian Exit is that beer, and it's just basically it's the simplest beer we make there. It's just Belgian pale malt, Belgian yeast, all citra hops to give it a little bit of a hybrid kind of hoppy influence, an American spin on it, so to speak. And that's it. It's 5.2%, and go cut the grass out in the hot sun and drink that.
Crush it. Don't feel bad about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amagong's another one of those, Belgian breweries
Yeah.
that kind of like brought that in. I mean, was it Hennypen or whatever? That was one that was like very.
Another one, yep.
That was one that was universally known by everybody. So that's nice. I mean, like this, it's like a session Belgian for me, which is like kind of the way I describe this.
Yeah,
great way to
like another gateway Belgian. Because if you're, we talk about Golden Monkey. That's a big beer. This is more or less a pale ale in Belgian form. So it's a nice little gateway Belgian ale.
Beautiful hybrid. First beer you ever made, too, right, Baz? Am I correct?
Yep. First one.
Oh, this is the first?
That's the oldest beer we got. Yep.
Wow.
Nice.
So that was the first beer you ever brewed was a Belgian pale ale hybrid.
And it's on our board right now.
Wow, that's
Really went hard with it. They were like, "Yeah, we're gonna go all out on this first beer."
that's just I mean
Definitely not a Mr. Beer here.
No, go right for it.
I mean that's just such a I feel like that's like not a style to go after with your first like your homebrew beer.
No, yeah, this is like a go big or go home.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it says our second episode with a beer that was brought from homebrew to brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Greg's scratched the surface was he took that from homebrew to brewery.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
very
Scratch the
interesting.
Surface was it was one of his
So
pilot beers, as you call them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the pilot episode of Seinfeld, you just got to get it in there.
Get it in there. Just get it in there, work it out.
So Matt had a question for Kevin. He wanted to know why your beard isn't as great as Basil's.
Well, there's 4 other, excuse me, sorry. There's 3 other siblings between us, so I think that has something to do with it. But, I don't know. I don't know where I missed the mark there. Let's have 5.
I have the answer. I helped raise Kevin.
There it is. So
There,
that's
okay.
that half of the beard.
That's why the beard. That's why the beard is gray.
This is Kevin. This is Daniel.
There's a lot of gray there. There's a lot of I've had to bail this guy out on a few times. I've had to go pick this gentleman up.
That's Patrick. That's Patrick right here.
Oh man.
He'll get there. Don't worry.
I'm working on it, Matt. Come on. I'm graying out. Does that count?
Here's the step-by-step process. Step 1, get yourself a basement like Basil's. Step 2, sit in there with a hooded sweatshirt and a beanie.
Step 3, look for coal.
Yeah. Start mining for coal. All right. So, what are have you guys? I mean, I guess we know the answer to this. You guys have done some past collaborations. What are some past collaborations that you guys have done that you're really proud of, and what if any, do you have any collaborations coming up?
Yeah, we did one back in, I guess it was 2019, with East Branch and Great Lakes from Ohio.
Oh.
It was Olvener, which was like a Norwegian yeast that just kind of came out. So it's kind of like a Saison meets pale ale meets funky kind of hybrid ale, another kind of hybrid, and love that one.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And Great Lakes, that they have a top 5 beer for me. And
Yeah, that's a top 5 beer for Tom right
yeah,
there.
and it ties in because Basil looks like the captain of it, the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Edmund Field?
Yeah.
Oh, great
Yeah.
beer.
It's a very good porter. Very good.
Maybe the best porter I've ever had. I haven't had your guys' porter, but
You should try it. It's pretty good.
I'm a big porter fan, so I'm gonna have to get out there to try that.
It's
We
the first
did,
mate porter.
What else did we did? We just recently did Black is Beautiful with Greg early. We back in the fall.
Yeah, the Rebel Hill
And-
one. Very good.
Yep.
Yeah,
Turned out great.
big Imperial Stout. Went to a good charity, and it turned out it was a good beer. It's a nice 9% kind of rich, delicious stout, so to speak.
Sneaky too, man. You wouldn't know it. It's not.
Yeah, I had a nice English breakfast with that stout over the weekend. Yeah, I was at Well Fed right down the street from your establishment. Did the
nice.
the Rebel Hill, did their little pop up there, and I was talking to Greg about this stout because I was like, this is traditional flavors right here with this stout. Like, it had a certain dryness to it that gave it like just. And I told him, I was like, it's a different from a lot of the Black is Beautiful I've had because the Imperial, a lot of them get real because with the style of imperial stout, very syrupy, and they put some, they have a lot of vanilla and a lot of little like sweeteners in them. I was like, that yours was like perfectly like a nice, almost dry stout. And he was like, oh yeah, he was like that was Brothers Kershner right there. He's like, if I had my way, it'd have marshmallow in it.
Yeah,
That's true.
we did a whole month of Black is Beautiful series,
yeah.
and
it was something that we as a podcast when the whole thing came out, we had to feature them.
Yeah, it was super interesting because everybody's take on it was so different.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was, you had the All Together series, and
We did that as well. It's
Yeah,
collab we did.
a
Stolen
lot-
Sun
We
Suburban Brew.
did that with some Suburban.
Oh,
Okay.
very cool.
Oh yeah, so you did it with Jonathan and the guys over at Suburban. Yeah, the All Together series, I felt like there wasn't as much. There wasn't as much differentiating.
Other
with the beer.
other half kind of had like a. I looked it up too because I went on Other Half's website when we did our Other Half episode. They had like a recipe and everything
Yeah.
that kind of people kind of followed along. They did their own little spin on it and everything. I
Yeah.
mean, it was Other Half, so a lot of people kind of held to the recipe. Some people deviated from it. I apologize. I didn't get a chance to try yours. I did try Rebel Hills, which was good. But yeah, I mean, I think with the Black is Beautiful, a lot of people took a lot of liberties on the Imperial Stout variation, and I think it took. I don't know. I think it made it more diverse. I think the Black is Beautiful was a lot more diverse.
We had everything from super, super sweet and rich to, a real smoky roasted malt flavor.
Coffee forward, and then like yours, like I drank it. It tasted to me like a classic, like dry stout. I was getting a lot of like Guinness vibes from it, which I was like really enjoying.
Yeah. But yeah, it was. We were pleasantly surprised with. We stuck right with the recipe that they Weathered Souls put out there. We tweaked it slightly based on our system, but it's pretty much a true to form Russian Imperial Stout, if you will.
It's a great recipe. It's
Nice.
good.
I'm glad you smacked the marshmallows out of Greg's hand.
Yeah, well,
Put that back.
Greg might have his way soon because we're doing a collab again.
I heard
at
about
his
this one.
place. So we'll see. We'll see what we come. I think we're doing a.
Black is Beautiful, but this time with Jet Puff.
No, I think we're doing a lager. We're
No,
doing
they're doing a hoppy lager.
lager.
Yeah, the hoppy lager. Yeah. Greg was telling me he was dropping some hints about it on Sunday. So
You've piqued my attention.
yeah, so hoppy lager. I'm just happy to see lagers getting attention, so getting traction, especially like with a hoppy lager. I mean, it's giving me everything I like about an IPA, but giving me that clean finish of a lager. So
So that works. It's another gateway. So we're trying to get the hop heads to enjoy lagers, and then we'll cut all the hops out eventually.
Yeah, I think like a big.
Everyone save money.
Number of hops.
I think a big like influence on that, and a big beer for me at least last summer was our buddies over at Warwick Farm did Juicy Pills.
Juicy Pills,
They
Gateway
did
Pills.
dry hop
Same
pills,
style.
and it was just, man, I was like, all right, well, this is just great because it's nice and crisp, and you just get a little bit of that hop bite to it. It's just, man, couldn't ask for a better
Totally.
summer beer.
100%.
Yeah. So what do you have any other collaborations coming up?
We have some things in the talks as far as what's in the books. Rebel Hills, the Indian Pale Lager is coming up, but yeah, there's a few conversations about. Last year was kind of a shutdown of all that kind of sort of thing. This year we're going to open it up to a little more collab type stuff because it's fun.
Yeah, it's cool
You
seeing
just go-
breweries do that.
You go to one brewery and hang out, and somebody brews a beer, and then you go from there.
Everybody else watches.
Yeah, everybody else has a good time.
Kevin hangs back and says, "What's up, guys?" guys.
Wear my headset. Make sure everybody's checking in. Everybody checked in at the gate.
Yeah.
I think with everything kind of lightening back up, it's nice to see, and it's something that we've kind of harped on recently. It's just like the community of of craft brewers, where in most industries it would be viewed as like, oh, we talk.
It's not a competitive
Yeah,
environment.
we've had
Everybody's working together.
Yeah, we've had we had Greg on from Rebel Hill, we had Rick on from Stable 12, and they both kind of had shared the same sentiment as yes, they're both Phoenixville breweries, but they don't see themselves in competition. It's they're all helping each other out, and one drives the other people to the other. It's a totally different business from.
That was what was cool about having both of those breweries on, is because they're both in the same area.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get that straight from the brewery. Like, is it competition, or is it more of like a kind of gathering of like-minded businesses who just help each other out? And we got exactly what we expected it to be. Like, beer is all about bringing people together, and it brings the business owners together. That's why, when we were talking about putting things we wanted to talk about was, collabs and stuff, like people just collaborating, people bringing beers together. I mean, some of the best beers I've ever had were the brainchild of two breweries coming together.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have a brewer coming on next week that's going to talk about collabing with
Everybody.
all of the PA breweries.
Everybody.
All the beers.
Who's that? Ryan?
No. It's going to be. We've talked about New Trail. Mike from New Trail is coming on.
Oh, nice, Mike. Yes.
So he's
Yeah,
doing
we're really excited about that.
They're
And
doing their expedition pack where he's just.
They're
You're brewing a beer,
they
we'll
took
distribute it.
They took a map of Pennsylvania and they just threw darts. And they're just like, hey, we'll do Imprint, Grist House, and hold on, let me throw another one. Human Robot.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about?
Actually,
here, man?
we talked about the Hoppy Lager, and I wanted to bring this up.
Okay. I like
because
this. I like the lead way in.
Yeah, it's along the same lines. We've been told by multiple sources, including one that's in the chat right now, that you guys quite possibly have the best Oktoberfest in the area, and I am sad that I missed it.
That's fun.
It's pretty good. Yeah, thank you, whoever said that. But it's
It is awesome. I can say that because I don't make the beer. So it's awesome.
We've kept it just that. It's our Oktoberfest offering because that's what it is. For that holiday or that time period, mid-September to October. But
I missed it by a month when I was there. I was so upset.
Yeah, we're gonna brew more next year, and we're probably gonna can it for sure. So it'll get out more into the world.
That's what I'm excited for.
It's just a good Oktoberfest, Marzen, if you will.
Yeah. So you guys did a Marzen style with your Oktoberfest then.
Mm-hmm.
That's what. Yeah, we actually, I think we had them on around the time of Marzen season.
Oh yeah,
And
it was breweries in PA.
Yeah.
We had the breweries and PA guys on, and
It was Chad. I could see the drool coming out of his mouth as he was talking about it.
He's like, "Oh, Marzen, Schwarzbier, Black IPA. It's just all the best."
Yeah.
He was trying to get. He was like, "You guys should all come out." And we're like, "Oh man, are we gonna go?" It was when you guys had your Oktoberfest. I guess he was there for the celebration and everything, and he would not stop talking about it. And to be honest, it's one of my I've set a Siri reminder on my phone. I'm like, "Hey Siri, remind me in September that I have to get the Brothers Kershner Marzen." I had a bit of a revelation over this fall. I usually, as a beer drinker, I'm an IPA guy year round. When it gets into the colder months, I usually go stouts, bourbon barrel aged. I like my whiskey, so I like my beer to kind of have that in there too. So I usually skip over the fall beers, but this year, because we're a craft beer podcast, I guess I'm gonna have to try everything.
You got to. Don't skip over the fall malt forward beers.
This was we We talked earlier in the podcast about how Dan was so proud that I'm all into the bitter IPAs now, and now I'm so proud that Dan got into the maltiness.
Yeah,
He joined the malty side.
Yep.
See that? You
Listen,
look proud,
hops
happy.
hops give a lot. Yeah, hops give a lot of flavor to beer, and it's obviously the one of the 4 ingredients that makes the beer, but it's the malt.
Yeah,
All the flavors and all the combinations you can do. It's all about the malt.
And that's the reason everyone always says it has a great malt backbone, because it's the backbone of the beer.
Yeah, it's always I think it's always the bookend for a beer. Like you have everything that kind of from the initial sip throughout the entire journey of that sip. Like that's the bookend is the malt. Like that just gives it that. And with fall beers, I mean, I just went through every German style this fall. Like
it was just Dunkel and Marzen and Oktoberfest. Just
I know. I was all of them, just shopping cart.
so with your Oktoberfest, you went more Marzen style. So what do you think
Best Friends Pod, hosted by Dan and Tom. Cindy Crawford's a fan, how could you